Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening from wherever you are joining us. My name is Kelebogile Molopyane. I'm the CEO for an entity called AB4IR. You may want to ask, what on earth is AB4IR? That is just a digital hub. We're based at the Tshwane South TVET College in Mabopane. We funded by CEDA currently, and ours is to help to bridge the digital and gender divide. This is our first Screw Up session of 2022. If you have never been a part of this, don't worry. You are not lost. You have not lost out at all. This is the first this year. The intention of this series is to share with entrepreneurs the journeys, different journeys, failures, the successes, the loves, the cries, the ups, the downs, because we tend to look at entrepreneurship from a very far end and we think it's glorious. We look at tenderpreneurs and we think that's entrepreneurship, and I always say that is way far from it. Everybody that has a successful story to tell about entrepreneurship will share with you the heartaches, the cries, the lows of all they have to come through before they could get to where they are today. What we do at IB5R, as I have alluded to you earlier on, we're an ICT hub. We're based at Mabopane, Tshwane South TVET College, but we literally service the whole of South Africa. We are trying to push the disadvantaged communities to be aware of the digital creative industries. So some of our programs include gaming, animation, and virtual reality. What is animation? What is gaming? All those things are pretty exciting. You may or may not know, but today we are joined by an outstanding young man who is currently based in France. His name is Loazim Sipa. He's a South African animator and founder of Old Fashioned Young In. Old Fashioned Young In, I had to ask, hey, is it Young Jean or Young Jean? So I needed to make sure. So it's Young In as in Pagat. Old Fashioned Young In is a character animation company that aims to explore innovative solutions for creating high quality animation at a lower budget and less time than it would take to make traditional animation. Razi earned a diploma in animation at the highly acclaimed animation school in Johannesburg, South Africa, graduating in 2017. He was the lead animator of the award-winning The Boy and the Mask. In 2021, Razi was commissioned to create, direct, and produce a short comedy series, 13 episodes of 2 minutes each. It was an innovative hybrid format mixing an animation and live action based on Razi's original idea and concept. The original production launched in Cartoon Network channel in Africa in July 2021. That is a mouthful. That is exciting. He is young, he is black, he is proud, and we are so excited to be hosting him today when we are doing the Screw Up session. Loazi, where are you? How are you? How is France?
Hello. Wow, what an intro. Thank you so much. As you said, I am in France right now. France is it's been amazing. I'm really loving it. You know, the weather is not like South Africa. The winter here has been 6 months long, so it's kind of been stressful. It's been a lot stressful, but now it's starting to get warmer a bit, so I'm enjoying that. And yeah, I'm just having fun. I mean, I'm studying animation this side, you know, trying to sharpen my skills so that when I come back to South Africa, I can contribute even much better and more, efficient to the animation industry. So thank you so much for the intro.
Awesome. So this is about you, hey? So
Okay.
this is the screw up session. We talk about what you've screwed up, what you've learned. I mean, you have directed, produced, and done all sorts of things, even on Channel Africa. So I'm thinking, as an animator, here I am, I'm a young kid from the block, and I really know how to animate. how do I get to be in Brazil's shoes? How do I end up in France? So take us through the journey. How did you get there, and what got you into animation?
So, how I got into, okay, let me just start from the animation part. How I got into the animation.
From the
Um,
beginning.
from the beginning. So when I was young, I used to love drawing. I realized that I have a talent in drawing. So I would draw in my textbooks, draw. Teachers would always complain, like, instead of doing work, I would draw all the time. And I took it even further and took it even further. I joined art classes and joined art subjects. But the biggest inspiration for me, and I know a lot of people will probably, they'll probably resonate. It was Dragon Ball Z. When I watched Dragon Ball Z, then I realized that wow, there's cartoons that actually make you feel so excited, so good. And that's when I decided that I'm also going to join this animation industry. This is what I'm gonna do. I don't care how, but I'm just gonna be part of it. So I joined. I did the animation uh, course. So at the animation school. So I studied the animation there. I did 3 years at the animation school, and we learned 3D. It was a 3D animation course, and it was very very cool. It was so cool. Like there's so much that I've learned that I didn't even know, and it definitely helped shape my future in animation. And I met a lot of amazing people around. So I studied there, and then I graduated. But then I guess this is where the screw up kind of comes in with the screw up sessions. There was the first session for me where, because after that, um, the final year of the animation, after I was doing the animation, you have to do a project, a group project, and you have to do like an animation short, The Boy in the Mask, the one that actually won the award. Um, it was pretty stressful. It was so stressful, and I mean that's how the animation industry is, especially working in teams. It's kind of stressful. It may seem fun. I mean, the outputs or the results may look very cool and fun, but it's so stressful. So I was so stressed to a point where I was like, you know what, I'm quitting animation. I never want to see this field ever again. So for a year I quit animation. I wanted nothing to do with animation.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so for a year I had a job. I was doing graphic design. I mean, it's not that far from animation, but I was doing graphic design, but I didn't want anything to do with animation. But then again, in working, I was not happy. I was just not having fun, and just being in the whole 9 to 5 business for me, it wasn't so it wasn't enriching for me. I had no
Yes.
drive. It felt
Yeah.
like I'm just wasting my time. But I managed to do a year, and it was a small company, so I learned a lot because I was very close to the CEO. So I learned a lot about pitching, learned a lot about approaching other companies, and just how to engage, which is, I guess, advice I would give to young kids out there is that if you get a job, try going for the small company, because I know it seems like you want to go to Disney, you want to do that, but it's important to go to smaller companies because you get to learn a lot. You get to learn a lot, and you're in close proximity with the higher ups, and you
Yeah.
learn a lot on the job. So that's what I did. I learned, and then after a year, I was like, you know what? I think I'm ready to go back into the animation. So I quit my job. And I quit my job. I That's when things started happening. Actually,
Yeah.
I think the universe was just waiting for me to take the stand because everything was on standstill. But then when I realized that, I'm just gonna quit my job. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know how we're gonna make it, but we are going to make it one way or another. So then I quit, and then I got some support. I got some support from the NFVF, the National Film Video Foundation. I pitched the show to them. I said I want to create an animated show. They're like, "Wow, it sounds like a good idea. We'll support it." And then they funded me, and with that, I managed to take the show and pitch it all over the place. And I met a lot of people in the animation industry. It started moving. Things started moving, it started progressing. I met a lot of big names, and that's where Cartoon Network also kind of came in. After the what you call this thing, after the pitching, there's a program called Discord. So it's called Discord, where it's a media thing where you have to share media, and you pitch to people. It's a whole marketplace for film. And Cartoon Network was there. I went with a lady called Wendy Spink. She was my producer, and she introduced me to people. She introduced me to Cartoon Network. So
Wow.
the Cartoon Network Africa. Cartoon Network Africa, I spoke to them. They knew about me, but there was nothing really tangible at the time. But I just showed them what I have, and they just knew about me. I guess they put me on their database, like, oh well, but nothing really materialized from there. So after I worked on this project that the NFVF funded, things started going slow again, and you start losing motivation.
Yeah.
But I was still having fun because I was still making stuff on YouTube, even though it wasn't getting that many views. I was, and I hadn't even joined TikTok, because TikTok is another story. It's another story that I think would be interesting as well for people listening. So it was YouTube and all that, and then nothing really much. I wasn't really getting those many gigs. But I was just not in that 9 to 5 space anymore, so I was kind of happy. I was still in the mindset that we'll see what happens. We just take it one step at a time, one step at a time. And then
Yeah,
COVID
that
19.
thing.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I was just saying that thing. When the student is ready, the teacher will always appear.
Exactly. Exactly. But you just have to be ready as the student, and the teacher will
Yeah.
appear. Yeah. So then it was a one step at a time thing. We're not rushing it, and I wasn't really putting pressure on myself. I wasn't really stressing myself out. So because once you put pressure on yourself, you start taking wrong decisions, and I probably would have gone back into the work environment, and not even get as far as I got right now if I was really putting pressure on myself. But I understood that it's a step by step thing. So I mean, we met the Cartoon Network people. They knew about me. Nothing really materialized from that. And then COVID-19 hits. Everything
Ish.
shut down. Dude, empty.
Ish.
Streets empty. Production houses closed. Everything is just done. You know? So we are just in that period now. I'm just locked in at home. And then I get an email from Cartoon Network. They're like,
Wow.
hey, we met the other time. Uh, we chatted, and you showed us your project. Do you have any ideas of things that we can create for just to encourage the kids in this time right now? Like, do you have any ideas? I was like, what do you mean? Cartoon Network? Me? Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely. So um I was very excited. So I was like, yeah, definitely. Let's go. Let's go. Well, what do you want? What do you have in mind? And they're like, no, you just tell us. Tell us what you have in mind, and then we'll see from there. And I was so excited. Then with the film and the television space, you have to create a pitch deck, and create a whole thing that shows them that this is what the show is going to be about, and this is how it's going to go down, all of that. So that was it with me. I created very, very elaborate um, pitch decks, created characters, and created a whole storyline. I think I created two very well detailed ones, super well detailed. I'm like, these ones are going, they're definitely going to accept this. I created two, and then in the last minute before I sent the pitch, I was like, wait, let me just put one more, just for the fun, just for control. So, and this one was the one I spent the least time on. So I just took a YouTube video, one of my YouTube videos that I've worked on, and I just put a link. I was like, oh, by the way, here's another one. Here's a link. I mean, check it out if you want to, but I know you're definitely gonna be looking at those two. They saw the pitch and they were like, we see these two, we're not really interested, but we like this one, the one that you spent the least effort in. This is the one we like. Can you actually produce this and make a show out of this? I was like, oh, and imagine it's something that I thought about the last minute to do, and that's the one that took off. So I was like, yeah, definitely. And obviously there was the whole process. I had to create, um, the whole animation process. You have to create like what's this thing called proof of concept, just to show them how the show is gonna be. And then yeah, we just took it from there. We worked it, and they gave me the green lights and said, "Go ahead, you can go on and shoot." And then yeah, I created the 13 episode show for them for Cartoon Network, which
How long did it take you to create?
it took me. I mean, from because they talked to me on 20. So I actually shot the whole thing in. It took me like 6 months, if I can actually calculate, because it's short. It's literally like 2 minute episodes. It's a hybrid animation, so it's not like a fully animated show. It's just me talking to a cartoon character, which is based on the videos that I've been doing on YouTube and TikTok. So I just pitched that idea. So it took me like 6 months to do, including character design and shooting the whole show. And yeah, it was a very fun process. I enjoyed it, and it definitely set the mark really up there. And I definitely wanna take on that and just move forward with it.
That is nice. I have a dream. I have a dream of telling African stories in
Yeah.
an African way by an African person. I keep saying to my team, okay, they took Shaka away from me, but I always say there's various versions of Shaka. We could do a better Shaka story. There
Yeah.
is Bomo Peme, there is like so many awesome, awesome stories. I have this dream about creating animation stories. Like, why are we still watching Barbie in South Africa? So much of it. Why are there still so many cartoons that do not resemble what we were about, kind of thing? Like, and that's between you and me as Black people, learning the skill, representing ourselves, and just going out there so that our kids can identify with what they see and can be more comfortable in their skin, isn't it?
Yep.
So one would want to know, is there money in animation?
That's an interesting question. Yes, there is money. There's definitely money in animation, especially if you want to be more than just an animator. You know, if you start being business minded about it and you start learning the businesses and how other companies like Disney are doing it, there's definitely money in the animation, which, leads. Well, let me actually break down how I make money besides the Cartoon Network thing, because it's a lucky thing in a way, yeah, but without really undermining the whole thing. But it won't happen to everyone, basically, is what I mean. So it's there is ways to make money. So what happened with me is that I joined TikTok. So I was uploading the videos that I was doing on YouTube. They weren't getting much traction, and but people were liking them. I mean, people who've seen them, and I have to show people physically, like, hey, look at this video. So people who saw it, they're like, oh, that's a very nice concept. It's a very nice thing that you're doing. I think this would work perfect for TikTok. And I hadn't joined TikTok at the time. I was like, really? Okay. And then, very reluctant, I uploaded on TikTok. So I uploaded my first video on TikTok. So I created the character called Nestandi. Nestandi is a very, well, very a nurse with so much attitude, and she's just all over the place. And this was an experience that I've had with after testing for COVID at a clinic. It was such a ridiculous situation that I went and put it in a cartoon form, and people loved it. So I uploaded. Maybe I uploaded tonight. When I woke up the next morning, because it was viral. When I wake up, my notifications are going crazy. I've got like over 1,000 new followers. It was just insane. I was like, what is this? What's going on? And that's when I realized that no, TikTok is actually, it's actually the place to be. So things were just going crazy, and I was like, you know what, let me just develop this even further because people love this character. And they started uploading more and more and more videos of this nurse character, and people just wanted to see her. And she just became a recurring character, and I've gained a lot of followers ever since. I mean, right now I'm sitting on like 203,000 followers on TikTok from Nurse Tandy, and this was before the Cartoon Network thing aired. The deal was already in place, but before it aired. So, people are already excited about this and they love the fresh and new take on content creation, which is animation. And, from there, as soon as you start getting traction, as soon as you start getting people who know about you, that's when the money starts coming in. Because I started getting emails and I started getting, which is something I wasn't getting all the time. Back then I used to email people, can you please give me a chance? Can you please help me out with, can I work with you? And no one would respond, no one would listen. Now I was the one getting the responses, can we please work with you? Can you please? And I'm just naming the price. And that's how it works, once you're getting involved and getting all these followers, that's how people started seeing you. And something I keep telling people is that other creatives, because us as creatives, the problem we have is that we don't like to upload our stuff. We don't like to put our stuff online. We always like to hide our
Yeah,
stuff. And that's,
yeah,
I don't know if it's a self-confidence thing, but you just need to just get it out there, put it out there. And that's what I've realized and I've come to realize is that the people watching these TikTok videos and these YouTube videos are CEOs of companies, are just normal people. After they finish with their jobs, they get home, they unwind, they scroll onto their phone, they see a funny video, they'll contact you like, oh wow, this would actually work with our campaign, and they'll contact you, and that's how you get your money
true,
and you get your jobs.
true.
Exactly. So
I think the marketplace has really changed, as you are saying. I mean, it moved from when you would have to ask people, "Can I?" And the
yes,
more they realize, the more you're. And I think it's about putting yourself out there, risking yourself more, just allowing people to see what you are able to do. And think about it, even with the ones that you had done for Cartoon Network, the one you spent the most time on, they were like, oh, okay. The one you were taking for granted that, okay, by the way, that is the one that they found. And it shows you right there, you shouldn't
yeah.
underestimate any of the things that you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. You should not underestimate anything that you're doing. You should put it out there. There's always a market for it. There's always someone who's just gonna love your product. And like I keep reiterating, it's just normal human beings who are watching your stuff, and it's CEOs and it's people who would say this will work for our campaign. So that's been it for me. But obviously, I just did not want to end it there. I wanted to take it a step further. You know, because I really need the animation to be an enterprise, and I feel like if I take these steps, then um, a lot of people will be inspired by it. So I have to take steps. I have to figure things out. Maybe fail if I have to. I don't know. I'm just trying a lot of things out and just seeing what works, so that people will come before after me. They can be inspired, especially other black kids who was looking at animation and they don't even know how to get into it, or parents who were just looking at this, they're like, I'm a Popeye, what money are you gonna make? I'm a Popeye, just to give them a kind of
Yeah.
inspiration and tell them that their kids dreams are valid. So what I've been doing is, I mean, I've created the Nurse Tandy character, she's been very famous, and then I started trying to merchandise. So you know how your Disney does it. They'll release a film and then they'll release toys, they'll release bed sheets, they'll release, you know, and that's where most of the money is actually. As crazy as it sounds, uh, the money is not necessarily in the animation or the films or people buying tickets. It's actually in the merchandising because after the kids love this
Yeah.
product, they want to go
Yes.
in and buy. Exactly.
Yes. That's why
So
I'm at. Like, can we please create African characters that we can
exactly.
identify with? Look, I have a thing with Barbie. Like me and Barbie need to get into a boxing ring. Castanya versus busy fighting other people. I'm fighting Barbie and Ben
Yes.
10. I'm like, for as long as I've been alive, Barbie has been here. She's forever young. We're still buying her stuff now. I want African stuff, eh?
Yeah,
I want.
exactly.
Please come back, Tulwazi. You and I
Listen,
got some stuff, some serious things
here's
to
the
talk
thing.
about.
So
Like,
this Tani is a black character and she's very thingy. So I also started merchandising. So let me show, you know, I've also made my own
hey,
Barbie.
yes, yes,
Exactly,
yes.
just to break into
Mm,
the industry, just to
yeah.
tap into the industry, just merchandising and selling these things and just taking over the space as well, which is very important. And that's how I plan on making money. So I'm obviously right now still trying to test things out, trying to figure things out, and trying to get into a space where I was not really focused on. I was more focused on being the creative, but now doing the merchandise. So there's obviously screw ups, as the screw up session is, and I think right now I'm still trying to test the waters. But I'll report back to people and just let them know how it's going, and then hopefully they'll get inspired and they'll follow suit.
Look, I have a passion, I have a madness, I have a thing. I have a thing. Like I really have a thing. I can't go to my grave without having corrected the thing. So you have to come back. You don't understand, Lucy. You have to come back. We need to address this thing. Didn't
I'm
just say it wasn't luck, by the way, and I agree with you, my friend. It's not luck, it's opportunity.
opportunity, yeah.
When the opportunity presents yourself and you are ready, head on. That's what people think it's luck, but that's just when the universe aligns itself. I always say, from a coaching perspective, to the degree that you are aligned with what you want, the universe will meet you with an equal but opposite productive force to get you to
Yes,
where you want to be. Tepo
exactly.
says African stories are untold and carry so many teachings. I fully agree. Those fireside kind of chats, those late night stories that we grew up in, they are gone. And not
Hmm.
only that, we are losing our culture and tradition. How
Yeah,
about we capture it in animation? How about
exactly.
we take the teachings down to our kids, explaining the whole notion from the cradle to the grave about Black culture? Our culture is so beautiful, it's worth celebrating, but we have not really documented it anywhere in a way that it is in your face. And this is why we find ourselves so embracing the Western way of doing things, because it's everywhere you look.
Do
And
you
you
know
can't
what's
blame the Westerns.
do you know what's even crazier, or what's even wild, is that the West is now the ones who are uh, adopting the African cultures and putting it in their own space. I mean, if you look at the likes of your Black Panthers and stuff, they're realizing that, oh, okay, there's a market here. And it should be us who are supposed to be creating this and
And
creating.
then we are risking our stories not being told right yet again.
Yes,
Like the
yes,
history that we were taught in school, which had taken out all the power that Black people had and demonstrated and broken it down to make us look as if we were just you know. So
exactly.
we have the opportunity now to tell our stories in an African way, in a way that will be sustainable, that will just be living way past us. Hey, do you hear me? I have a thing with Babi. Babi's in here, like Babi will remain. But Babi was a character that was created, a story that was told, and it remains. And can
Yes,
we have learnings from that? When
yeah,
we have learned, can we behave as such and use it to
exactly,
empower ourselves, our cultures, our kids? And that's the
exactly.
only way, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was also listening to someone who was talking about how we just need a lot of Black companies as well to invest, because right now, I mean, for me, I'm definitely trying. I'm trying to push against the grain and everything, and doing it according to my own power. And it would be unfortunate if a white company comes to me and be like, "Listen, we have all this money. Can you tell the story, but tell it this way?" Because you already have a following. That's why we need a lot of Black companies to invest in this, to invest in young, talented creatives like me, so we can be able to tell the stories the way we would like to tell them. So I would actually love that, especially love to be supported. Right now, I'm just kind of pushing it on my own. But I just love support, and love support from black companies as well. You
Hey,
know.
we are here. You're not alone. We're doing this together. We're pushing in the
Yeah.
same direction. Here's a comment that says, I'm also inspired by Bro Lwazi. Now I'll tell my grandmother that my dreams are valid. Keep on working on those African characters. Characters support will always avail itself. That's true. There's a thing that you're talking about. Thanks, Max. That when you are clear about your vision, the universe will step up. It
Yeah.
never fails. I mean, how many people do you know? And even your own stories and is a testament to that. Like you
Hmm.
decided, you know what, this 9 to 5 thing is not mine. And because you were not where you are supposed to be as well, there was
Yeah.
no joy in what you were doing.
Hmm.
The
Yes.
minute you redirected, refocused, and you came back with your own vision,
Yeah.
universe was like, hey, where have you been? Like we've been
Where have you
waiting,
been? We've been
you know?
waiting. Yeah.
That is absolutely awesome. So let's talk lessons. I mean, what are you
Yeah.
taking from all of this?
Geez, I'm still, like I'm saying, I'm still learning. I haven't figured everything out yet. So people can look at me and and know that I'm not even that far to reach. I'm literally just around the corner in the sense of how far I am, and it's just me just pushing, pushing, pushing. So people must not look at me and be like, well, he's gone. There's no way I could actually reach that. But you can definitely reach it. You can definitely get to this point. So I'm still definitely learning right now, learning as I go, learning, trying new things, failing, and not even staying down when I fail. You get up and be like, okay, let's try again. Let's try something else. Because I feel like if you have a vision, if you have something that's playing in your head constantly and you can't even sleep, it's something you have to pursue. So with the merchandising thing, like if I'm telling you that I couldn't sleep, I could not. Like each night I'll be trying to sleep and I'll be thinking, thinking, thinking. I need to merchandise. I need to find a way. I don't care how, but I need to find a way. And then I started talking to manufacturers and people who do the whole manufacturing thing, and finally have a product. So now I have to put it out there. I have to put it on the market and start selling, So I feel like if it's haunting you, if it's something that you keep on thinking about all the time, do it. You have to do it. Don't even think about what would happen if it doesn't happen. Always you'll figure it out as you get there. So it's definitely learning for me, and I'm learning as I go, and I'm still trying to experience and discover things. But it's just testament that you always have to keep going.
Absolutely. So if you have just joined us, I'm Kelebogile Molopyane, the CEO of Africa Beyond the Fourth Industrial Revolution, based at the Tshwane South TVET College. We're an ICT incubator. We are pushing the gender divide, digital divide. We're playing in the ICT space. We're really trying to get our kids to know about opportunities in gaming, animation, virtual reality, and the drone technology. So this is a screw up session. It's one of the we used to do it monthly, but we decided to do it on a quarterly basis now because the conversation is, as a startup, do I wake up and become a millionaire? Are there things that I need to learn? Is it a entrepreneurship? Do I need to have a rich uncle? What are the stories? How did Beyonce get to where she is? She is at. Did she just wake up and she was a superstar? Did Motsepe and anybody else that you think is an awesome entrepreneur that has really gained their wealth? This is that session where we're just really letting our head down and we're talking to various people about how did they get there, what has worked for them, what has not worked for them. And today we are joined by the amazing Loisy. He is currently based in France. He is studying animation. He has studied here in South Africa and he is further developing himself. He is loving animation. He's just started now also developing merchandise and we're excited about it. And I'm literally challenging him to come home. He's finishing in 2024. I'll still be here.
Hmm.
Corona couldn't take me. Nothing else is gonna. So he's gonna come back. We're gonna do magic. But he was just telling us as well that he has had his own fallings, his own days where he gave up, even though they had a beautiful animated film that was done. And he's gone into TikTok, just sharing ways that you can actually make money. And yes, there is money in animation, but like so many other things, money isn't always direct. People will tell you that if you're in films, it's usually even in the advertising and this and that that comes in the sponsorships. It's not always where you are looking, kind of thing. Am I summarizing you right?
Yes, yeah, we are
Awesome.
definitely.
So the future, you are
Yeah.
in France now, or maybe even tell us about, like, you you were a natural born, you loved drawing and all,
Mhm.
and then you went to school, and then you gave up, and then you went back. So what did you study in Joburg? What are you studying now? And
Mhm.
where are you in like the next
In like, okay.
5 years?
So in Joburg, I studied um at the animation school. I studied animation, so that was my starting point to animation and just learning the ins and outs of animation and just understanding how to animate. I studied at a school called the Animation School. It's in Craig Hall right now. Yeah. And I mean, it was a very awesome experience. Besides the whole stress and all that stuff that that made me quit for a year. It was a very awesome experience, a very much needed experience for me as well, because I wouldn't be this far. But besides the animation school, I was also learning a lot online. So I was not only relying on school, I was learning new softwares to animate with, and understanding the environment that I'm in. So I mean, a lot of people don't know, but animation is a very time consuming, and it's very, time consuming, very expensive, and it's not attractive to the South African market, because the South African market is like, someone would ask me for a coat, and I would be like, okay, for something you want, and they were like, okay, something that looks like something from Disney. I was like, something like that will cost you 2 million, and then they'll be like, oh, well, I thought it was gonna be 5,000 or something. So that was the case for me. So I was also researching ways, and to be creative, to be attractive to the South African industry, so that they don't give up. I mean, things have to start from somewhere, but they have to start. So for me, it was just to find ways of creating animation in a quicker way. Hence why my company uh, thingy name, or the part of the description of my company, is that we find creative ways of creating animation cheaper and faster. So, we started researching, started looking into other programs, and there were some programs where you could actually do animation very quick and in a less time consuming way. So, I started exploring that to make myself more attractive into the South African market. And obviously, we grow from there. Once people realize how important animation is, then you can start charging the prices that you want. But it's obviously the stepping stones. So that was that. I was obviously learning online and started learning a lot of stuff that I didn't learn from school. And then we took it to France. I mean, now I'm here in France and I'm studying at a school called Gobelin. So it's like the number one animation school in the world, actually. I'm doing my master's in animation right here. So, we're working. There's a lot they teach you. They already assume that you know what animation is. They just take it even further. And the experience has been, very eye opening, very, very. I mean, I'm excited for coming back to South Africa, because I know that the quality of animation that we'll be producing, from what I've learned here, is just gonna be top notch. It's gonna be a step higher. So I'm excited to bring back this knowledge that I have back home, and I plan on coming back home quite soon. Actually, like I don't I don't plan on staying here. I mean, I feel like here in France and the West and all over the place, they have enough. They literally have enough. We don't have any at all. So it just defeats the purpose of me just adding to their numbers, when I could actually use what I've learned and to build the animation industry back at home, and to help kids who, were very despondent, who were just like, "Ah, I'll never get there. I'll never know how to do it." Just to help them realize that you can't do it. And we just want to open the gates for them, because I feel like the doors are open for me. It's important for me to open the doors for them. And one thing I also have to mention is that it's such an accessible uh, industry right now. I mean, the thingy, the barrier. There's no barrier to entry that much. You can literally download an app on your phone called Rough Animator or Flipper Cam, and you can actually get started with animation. You can literally just get started with animation. It has everything that you need, from voice recording. Get started, create your animations, upload them on YouTube, upload them on TikTok. You'll get a following. People would want to be associated with you once you get following, and that's how you can make money. I mean, the unemployment in South Africa right now is very ridiculous. It's crazy, and we have to find creative ways of making money, apart from the regular having a job. And the entertainment industry, and definitely the YouTube space, and there's so much money in that, but we have not even tapped into that. So that's that. I just want to showcase that you can just download an app, get started, put your stuff online. Eventually, you'll get traction. The whole idea is just not to quit. You'll realize that you've been working on something for 4 years and nothing has happened, but on the fifth year, it's gonna blow up, like, just to cover for all the 4 years. So, just keep pushing that, and there's so much money that you can make, especially with YouTube ads. We have to find a lot of creative ways, and I hope people are taking from that there's no linear way of making money anymore. There's just different variations, and we can change the whole unemployment situation in South Africa.
Yeah.
But definitely, I'm saying, with all that I've learned and all that I'm learning, I'll come back home, and I'll try to accelerate the knowledge as well, accelerate getting people into it, and just exposing people to the information, so that they can also come in. And because sometimes it's just the lack of information. I know not many people have, and that's why I praise platforms such as this, because people can learn, and I'm glad to be helping people. So yeah, like, when I come back, we're
Awesome.
definitely gonna help.
So we have some comments here. I
Hmm.
see Tepo is really agreeing that African stories are untold and they carry really so much teachings. I promise you, if there's one thing that I do, is this, and for as long as it's not done, it means I'm still gonna live long. So we really need to teach them.
Yeah.
She further is inspired, he or she, sorry, Tepo Moabelo. At this stage, the generation that have these stories are almost gone. Let's capture the stories and tell them fully. Like, seriously, we need to, those of us that still have grandmothers, we need to really train them now. Let's get
I,
those stories.
of
And
course.
didn't wants to know, this is the one thing that we are also battling with. Creative industries is considered a hobby, not a
Mm.
career.
Hmm.
So many parents would be on some, yes, Kolong, go study engineering, go do this, go do that. And
Yeah.
when now you decide you want to go to school and draw. So Didi wants to know, how did you get your parents to agree to pay for animation in furthering your studies, or were they just woke?
Woke. Oh wow. I mean, I've been getting a lot of those questions, and my mom has been very, very, very supportive. Actually, she's been supportive. Yeah, she's a woke mom, because she understood my talent from being young. She understood my talent. She was like, "You can draw. You're very good at this. You should further pursue it." So after I finished high school, um, I wanted to go to UJ, to do multimedia. So it's not really animation, but it's a mix of graphic design, all of that stuff. It's not animation to its core. So I really wanted to do that and just have the whole university experience. And my mom was like, "No, no, you love animation, you love cartoons. What are you doing?" And I was like, "No, I just want the whole." No, she was like, "No, no, no, you are going to animation." And she searched. She was the one. Imagine. instead of me saying, "Mom, this is the school I want to go to," she's the one that was searching for animation school. She's like, "Okay, here's an animation school. It's opening." And I was fortunate enough because it used to be in Cape Town, and then they opened a branch in thingy. So it happened around about that time. She's like, "There's an animation school coming to Joburg. It's opening in, when you finish with high school, we're gonna put you in here." And I was like, oh, "Okay, okay." And then she's the one that called. "Okay, when can we set up a meeting? When is the open day? We coming?" And then we came. We had an interview. We talked to them. She even went further to get a bursary because I was fortunate enough to get a bursary. So she spoke to her work, and she helped and got a bursary, and they kind of paid for my studies. But she was the one that was pushing it. Imagine. And it's such a wild story when I tell it to people because they're like, "Wow, your mom actually is the one that pushed it." I'm like, "Yes, she was the one that was actually, pushing for it." And she's like, "You're definitely gonna study animation. This is what you've always loved to do." And just looking back at it right now, I'm very grateful. I'm actually like, wow, thanks, woke mom.
Power to the mom. Power to the mom.
Power
Your
to
mom
the
for
mom.
presidency, hey?
My mom, Nom Sam Sipa, very amazing.
Okay. Awesome. So
Yeah.
it sounds incredible. Like, what do you think needs to be done to further encourage parents to get to your mom's level? Because, like I was saying, creative industries is seen as a hobby, not a
Mm,
career. What do you think
yeah.
we can do?
I mean, definitely it has to be pushed aggressively. I mean, you see what I'm doing right now, we just have to push it aggressively. I guess I need to keep, telling my story, try find ways and find places to tell my story and let the parents know that it is possible. Because you can't blame them in a way because they haven't seen it happen. Mine was just, I guess she was just the woke one. But other parents, they've not seen it lucrative. I mean, we come from a period where dreams were not something that you should actually follow because it's either you have one shot or you're not going to make it. You don't have the right of failing and going back again, failing and going back again. It's either or that's it. So we can't necessarily blame them, but it's important to show them that it's working. It's important to keep showing them that it's working and keep advertising to them. And I like that how everything has started changing into, you're seeing a lot of influencers, a lot of people who are famous on the internet appear on the TVs just to show them that there's a career in this. So I feel like we're on the right track. We're on the right track. We're on the right track. But we just have to have more conversations to parents and just let them know that it's possible. It is possible. Follow your dreams. I mean, just going back to the comments of, I think it was Tepo who said, now I'm inspired. I'm gonna follow my dreams. Definitely do follow your dreams. Follow your dreams. I mean, if you need, there's the internet. You can literally search for internet and show your parents how you can make money through the animation. Information is not hard to find anymore. You can literally Google how to make money in animation. "Mom, this is how you make money in animation." Mom's gonna be like, "Okay." It mustn't be a whole hide and seek situation where it's ambiguous. There's literally information everywhere. You just need to be open and honest to your parents and be like, "This is what I want to get into. This is how you make money. This is how you earn. This is how I would make money from it." And I feel like they would listen and be like, "Okay, now that you've explained to me how it works, I can actually, you know, be comfortable enough to let you get into that space." So just be exposed to information. Always Google, always Google, always Google, always try to find information online. It's like life is not supposed to be complicated anymore. We're not doing encyclopedias to find information anymore. Information is very accessible to us, and we have to use it to our advantage. And I think that's that. That's how we let the parents know. We encourage them. We encourage them. We tell them. We show them how it's done. I mean, hopefully, I'll also be an example because I know I've been example. I've been an example to other kids. I mean, I've gotten DMs and people were telling me that. I mean, I've gotten DMs from parents. who said, "My child wants to get into animation. What can you do?" And that made me so proud because I've realized that parents are now starting to embrace this whole thing. They're starting to say, "Okay, I guess you are making it. I guess you're a black kid that's making it. I guess my child's dreams, are not invalid anymore, but they still need information. So I just information, just keep searching, and yeah, that's it."
Awesome. Hi, Kamogelo. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Love to you too. So who's your mentor, role model, and why? Are you working with a coach, mentor?
Um, Mentor. I was working with Wendy Spinks. She is amazing. So she was kind of my mentor, but right now I don't really have a mentor. But she's been so awesome. Like she helped me get into these spaces, and how I got into contact with her is I emailed her. I literally texted her. She had no idea who I was, but I just texted. I sent her an email. I was like, "Listen, this is who I am," and I had so much confidence. So that's the thing. You need to speak with so much confidence, even if you have never done anything in life. You need to speak with so much confidence, and that was something I had to teach myself. So how I met Wendy Spings is I was obviously working and I was hating every day of work. Just every moment I was like, oh, why am I here? And then I saw Wendy Spings and I'm seeing Wendy Spings. She's a producer. And I was like, okay, she's the right person to talk to. Let me send her an email. Then I sent her an email. Guess here's what happened. So yeah, there's strategies that you have to, sometimes you don't have to just go ahead. There's strategies. So with the strategy with her is I sent her an email, right? I had a concept, the concept that was funded by NFVF, but before it was funded with her help. So I had that concept, and all I had at the time was just a picture that I had drawn, and that is it. But the way I was going about it, I pretended like I had a whole show with scripts and everything. But then I texted, um, so I texted a guy called Mike Scott. He was in the animation industry. He's been doing animation ever since. There's a cartoon that is created called Josie Zoo from long ago. He used to play on ETV. So I texted him on his personal page. He didn't respond. Then I texted him on his fan page. So my idea was that, they respond to fans. So I will text him on his fan page. And then I texted him his fan page, like, listen, I'm really into animation. I like animation. I've got this idea that I want to do. Here's the picture. It should be interesting. And she responded to a fan. And he was like, wow, this is nice. It's a nice concept. And I asked him, like, how do I get into the space? And it's like, yeah, there's these people. And he gave me email addresses. And it's like, just talk to them. So it was a basic information. Like anyone would DM me, I'd be like, yeah, no, speak to this person and that person. So then I went back to Wendy. When I went back to Wendy, here's what I say. Mike Scott says my idea is brilliant. Mike Scott says he loves my idea. Can you help me out? So Wendy is like, oh, I know Mike Scott. Mike Scott is good. That means you mean business. You're the real deal. So okay, I guess I should listen to you. And that time Mike Scott was just responding to a fan. Right? And then Wendy was like, okay, fine. I guess, it's you're someone I can pay attention to. So you see how you work the system. Sometimes you just have to be very creative about it. So
But
when
clarity also like gives you that boost of confidence, because the thing about lack of confidence is lack of clarity, in fact,
mm,
because you start thinking, oh my god, what if they ask me this, if they ask me that? But if you're clear about your vision, anything goes. And that's why you would like have that confidence to just
yeah,
barge into it.
exactly.
Wow, that
Exactly.
is awesome. So
Yeah.
but
So
what's your general view on coaching and mentorship?
I think it's very important. And I would there is someone how I'm actually coaching right now and mentoring in a way. But since I've been here, I really haven't had that much time. But whenever he has any questions, I do coach him and mentor him. And whenever I get jobs, I do bring him on board. He's a very talented kid. I mean, after I was doing my TikTok stuff and got onto YouTube and to Cartoon Network, he texted me and was like, "Listen, here's my animation." And it was very crude animation, but I saw the vision. And I asked him, and I saw his animation. I was like, okay, this is very cool, but it's, it still has a lot of work to do. And then I asked him how he makes his animation. He says he uses his cell phone. Literally on his cell phone, he draws with his finger and he creates the animation. I was mind blown. I was like, what? Really? And it's like, yes, this is what I do, and I really love animation. Like, I don't, it's not even about money for me, but it's just about making this happen. I was like, wow. Then I brought him. I literally took him under my wing. I was like, you are going far. So obviously we kind of worked together. I gave him jobs. He managed to buy a tablet. His animation has improved so much. And it's definitely, going further in the animation industry. And I think that's our job. As soon as you make it, you have to take someone else under your wing, help them, mentor them, push it up to the next one. It's very important for us to actually grow this animation industry like that. So being a coach and being coached and mentorship
Yeah.
in every industry, I think it's important, but especially in animation because it's so small and there's not a lot of young black kids in it, and they don't know how to get into it. So it's very important.
Yes, Kamohela. Kamohela says confidence is key. That's what she learned at AB4IR, and she's proud to be a drone diva.
Yeah.
Honestly, it will get you anywhere. Like if you're clear about what you're doing, everything else becomes that much simpler. So we're really,
Mm,
really excited. And
exactly.
look, Lazi, we are here. Our vision is aligned. Let's do miracles. Let's try to change this world one child at a time. If there's kids that you're aware of that are in our vicinity, send them through to us. You know Dumela, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Digital
Digital
canvas.
Canvas Academy?
Yeah.
We've been doing some awesome stuff with him. We ran an animation program in October. Oh, the amount of work that came out of there. Oh, mind blowing.
Wow.
We have
Wow.
got welcomes now at the
Wow.
center.
Mm,
So we have a lot of startups that come to use the Wacom's there and do incredible, incredible stuff. But it's
beautiful.
getting it to the next level, and it'd really be awesome if when you do come home, please pay us a visit. But
I
also when you are there, there is still so much that we can do together. Like we have the annual digital youth festival. You could join one of our master classes, talk to them about animation and stuff. Because unless and until we are sharing this information, our fellow black kids will not know where to go, how to go. And look, it's not always that it's money related. You just said now you had the talent, your mom found stuff, a bursary came, and now you're in France. I am willing to bet you are not paying for yourself there. But
mm,
do you understand? We
yeah.
need to put it out there that it's possible. To
Yeah.
the degree that you are connected to something, you see it. If you can dream it honestly, you can get it. It's
Yeah.
your dreams, and there's that saying that if the dreams do not scare you, then they're not big enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I left my job right in the heart of um the what do you call this COVID thing?
Oh wow.
Seriously, to start
Yeah.
AB4IR. Like,
Wow.
how crazy is that? Like, I'm like,
Wow.
okay, guys, this might be the craziest thing I've ever had to do. People are
Yeah.
losing jobs. I'm leaving a
You
job.
leaving a job?
It's it's crazy, but like we're saying, if it's not big enough, it does. If it does not scare you, does it's not big enough, and it will not make the impact. So
Mm,
you are doing beautiful things. We want you to shine, shine bright. Like come home, learn what you need to learn. Let's keep in touch. Let's make sure that we empower each other. Like I am a sucker for South African stories. In
yeah.
my next life, very soon, in my current next life,
In your current next life.
I'm putting together a documentary of cradle to the grave of the 13 different cultures, whatever that we have in South
Nice.
Africa, because we
Yeah.
celebrate differently, right? So can
Yeah,
you imagine?
exactly.
If you tell a story about from when a couple is pregnant all the way to when somebody dies, because there's rituals for birthing, for birthdays, for marriage, for death, for da 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 da. Those are
Exactly.
beautiful stories to tell.
Yeah. Those are definitely beautiful stories to tell.
It has been awesome. So, your parting shot, sir. So, on closing, what do you leave us with?
I'm just going to leave with what I always tell people. Don't be afraid to put your work out there. Don't be afraid to put your stuff out there. You never know who's watching, and you never know what opportunities may come your way. Just always be ready. Always be ready. You might grind for 3 years, but on the fourth year, everything will come together. So never stop. Never ever stop. And that's the whole key. That's the whole idea. Never stop what you're doing. Just keep pushing, and eventually everything will work out. And I'm
That
testament
is
to that.
That is awesome. Clarity is key. Keep pushing. Do not stop. Kamahelo is wishing you all of the best. Everybody that's tuned in is so
Thank you.
excited. Keep moving forward. Do us proud. Let's create animation. Bona, Babi must fall. Okay, in a good way, Babi. Like seriously. So Tandi, I'm
Tadi.
waiting to welcome Tandi. Let's do stuff. Yay! There's Tandi. Thank you everybody that joined us. I am Kelebogile Molopyane with AB4IR. It's a ICT incubator innovation hub based at the Tshwane South TVET College. We are about bridging the digital divide, helping as many people as possible to understand the ICT space, play in it, get more women, more youth, and everything is so much better when you do it together. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next quarter. Thanks, Fiso. Thanks, team. Thanks, everybody that joined us. Kamahelo, Didintle, Mapule, was it? Thank you so, so very much. We appreciate Tandy. Yes, Tandy looks good. It does. I agree, Kamahelo. It looks absolutely beautiful. Thank you. Peace and out.